Ivory Rasmus, Pyrocynical's Accuser. I just finished a 40-minute interview with him where he was very forthcoming. In this interview, he did show me a picture of a learner's permit that would correspond with the age that he was claiming during the incident with Pyro, 15 going on 16. I'll leave the final judgment to you. So that means when you were talking, some of the stuff that you released, when you were talking to Pyro, you were going on 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, very shortly. Because I think a lot of these conversations took place in February of 2017, correct?
Yeah.
And you're now 19 years old?
Yeah.
Okay, you're now 19, and you actually not too far off from 20. So I can verify that he showed me a learner's permit. And that his age definitely just lines up with what he's saying. So there's the other aspect of it. I have since I filmed my last video, I've seen some folks, I don't know who they are, say that everybody knew your age at the time that you were dealing with. This is no secret that everybody uses it. But I've also heard from my sources, due to your voice, you do have a pretty deep voice that I can hear now. Now, it's a little tough to tell because you're 19 and your voice can change, and you can have a deep voice at 12 and 15. That they were never sure what your age was. Late teens, early 20s was usually the guess. So do you have any evidence proving without a doubt that Pyro was like, did you have a conversation like, dude, I'm only 15 or something like that?
I have tweets where I talk about how my age has always been in my bio, and that for me is always has always been a thing for me, because it wasn't even on some I wasn't trying to pull myself out there like that, oh, I am a child. I just wanted to, my main focus was I thought it was impressive that I was making music I was at a young age, you know? And I wanted people to see that. But
all right. Do you have any screenshots of your Twitter accounts, any of your socials saying, I'm 15, 16, 17?
Yeah.
And 15 would be preferable because if you said you're 16, or 8 is 17 after the fact, it is okay. Here we go. I'm looking at this right now.
That's one thing.
Okay.
For me being.
Okay, sure. I used to get it from this 24-year-old guy in my body as 15-year-old music boy, and it grossed me out. It was just awful. So you're mentioning that you used to have it in your bio, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then this is
sure. That's in 2018.
Yeah, that was when I was going on 16.
Okay. Took that. This is from this is when you're going. This is around the time of the incident. Let's see, watch your 18 what? See, I could see how people could confuse you because you do have a pretty deep voice.
Yeah.
That probably hasn't changed much. I mean, all right. Okay.
I mean, the video that Crass Poo just posted.
Okay.
That was me when I was around that age.
Have you ever lied on the internet for any reason about your age?
Not that I can recall.
That you recall? Have you ever misled or lied anybody within this group? Because I know how these YouTube groups work. I know how these clips work. Have you ever misled, even joking around?
No.
Not that you're aware. Did you, let me see. I know a lot of people have criticized you for cloud chasing and things like that. I don't really find that. I think that's a red herring. I don't think that's relevant. It's what's relevant is whether this happened or not. But I do think there is some importance on why you decided to come out now, and I'd like to hear you explain that.
I really I wasn't planning on coming out with stuff too much. Before it clicked for me at some point that there's if I have a platform like I do, and I can talk about something as important as this and be able to move on from it, knowing that I'm correct in the situation, that I can open up, I can make it easier for other people who had it worse or had it better in regards to this. Like, I know that I'm opening that door for them a bit,
Sure.
at least,
Sure.
by making that effort. And if if I can prove this and I don't know, just get the right information out there, tons of people who went through stuff that they thought they'd have to bury forever.
Did you feel? I mean,
Yeah.
it's really. I really don't want to. I want to question you as an adult. I don't want to question you as a 15-year-old kid because I don't think that's fair. Did you?
Yeah.
You are in these things interacting with him. You are reciprocating. Certainly.
Yeah.
Are you saying that the reason that you reciprocated was because and that he was such a big YouTube star?
That's I'd say the reason I was reciprocating like that was because of that, and I had known how to RP like that,
Okay.
because I'd been in relationships where that's
Sure.
what my partner wanted, and I was like, oh shit, this guy like this is the connection he's trying to make, and I know that I can do this. So
Now, the most serious allegation, and I think it's a bit over the top, is grooming. The problem with the grooming allegation is the idea behind grooming is to get you from kind of point A to point B. The predator has to prey on the prey, on prey at some point. Was there any kind? Did he try to? Normalize these conversations? Maybe they started as jokes and normalize these conversations, but what was the goal? You have not accused Pyro up until this point of trying to get you a date, trying to get images of you or anything like that. The only thing that you've accused him of is having these extremely inappropriate conversations.
Yeah, I personally, I have nothing to I have nothing saying he invited me to anything.
Okay.
I have no proof of that, so I'm not making that allegation.
Well, forget the proof for a second. Did he invite you to anything?
Just his it's like a meetup or something.
In what
for,
city?
New Year's, or for New Year's or his birthday or something.
Was it in London or is it New York or Philadelphia? Or?
I think in London.
It was in London. And have you ever gone to London?
At least, I think. No.
Okay.
I've never traveled out of the tri-state area.
Okay. Was there any, when he invited you, was there any kind of indication that it was sort of a date in any way? That there would be a wink wink, that there would be some kind of, date-like act of sexual interaction? Did he give you that idea at all?
He didn't, if he was, I didn't pick up on it. So,
Okay.
I'll say
Did he
no.
ever ask you for nudes?
No.
No. So here's what I'm not understanding. And how were you groomed?
I was
Because
put into,
you don't need to be groomed for this to be wrong. Let me tell you something right now. If this
Yeah.
this conversation itself, assuming it took place, and it's looking like it did, is completely inappropriate for an adult to have with a child. But the grooming thing, that brings it to a whole new level. I mean, now we're talking about people that are, not just having a dirty conversation with an underage person, but plan to do something about it. I mean, is it really fair that you use the word grooming? And if that's true, if you feel that's true, where was this going?
See, I'm not I don't know.
Did somebody tell you to use the word grooming?
I was in a call with my friend when I typed it out, and I typed I remember I typed that and asked is that okay? Because they know about this, and that was I got a yes for that. So
Yes. Because it reads more like a
that's the word
YouTube thumbnail. Do you honestly believe? And just be honest. Did you not understand the definition of the word completely?
I feel like it was forcing or like manipulating a child into a like sexual situation.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that's what that word means to me.
Sure.
And like, I definitely was.
That's what it means to you.
in
Okay.
that.
But do you
Yeah,
think that he had
and,
plans
like-
for you down the road to prey on you in any other way? Because that's what I understand. Because it's got to go from point A to point B. That's the way I understand the definition. It doesn't look like it. It looks like, unless there's some information I'm missing, that you're having a dirty conversation that, let me make this clear, is extremely inappropriate. And I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know if it's illegal.
Yeah. Wait. Could you restate that? I'm sorry.
All right. I on the start, like. I'm having trouble with the grooming aspect, but I don't want to get a semantic debate about the word.
Yeah.
I have no issue. I have no want, but it's just like, was he grooming you to get pictures? Was he grooming you to get this? Because on the surface, this looks like just an inappropriate conversation with somebody that there is a power dynamic there, and I fully admit that.
He was.
Where do you think this was going? How much worse? This, where did you think this was going to end, or was this always going to stay in this realm?
I think the worst it was gonna go was like him using me to like hit up like contact artists about it, and like.
So you're saying he wasn't necessarily grooming you sexually, but he definitely was manipulating you to create more contacts with more artists.
He was manipulating me and like using my openness sexually as a kid for like serving that purpose of like, I want art, like I want to see more of this and shit. Like,
okay.
That was
and you knew people that, I mean, he dates a non-safe for work artist right now. And did you have contact with those types of people that could get him that kind of stuff? Because when you're, when you're an artist, it's tough to make money as an artist on YouTube. Believe me, I know. People just steal your stuff all the time.
And literally, like, I had like a bunch of artist friends, and like.
So you think he was manipulating you to get more sort of fetish art? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, without consequences.
Okay. I want to talk about his girlfriend. She had a very revealing conversation with you, and she said something in the fact which was pretty damning. You're not 14 anymore, it did appear to be sort of victim blaming. I'm not going to be honest. What created that interaction? Because that is very bizarre. What are your views on the fact that she contacted you?
I have no idea, like, what the thought process was, because like it totally caught me off guard.
I bet.
Like, because like at first it was like I'm gonna, like, I don't know, for me when I first posted that tweet, I was like horrified of everything that was happening, but I couldn't stop looking away. And that was like, I didn't know how to feel about that, so I was just like straight up responding. I don't know, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Like,
why did you leak her DM?
Well, because she was like, she was around during that.
Oh, she was. Because from my understanding, he was dating Hojin at the time, these conversations. At least that's what it lines up for me. Unless you could correct me on that. I'm not in the clique.
I mean, they were still around each other, like, during that time, and like.
So there is just no way he didn't know your age in 2017. Yeah, that's what you're saying.
And yeah.
Okay. I want to talk about the scrolling DMs, which I think are pretty damning. One of the things one of the most things that popped out of me is the first DM you posted that didn't scroll talked about the fear of waking up one day and thinking the Keemstar had found out. That I could be wrong, but I went through that a few times. I didn't see that particular conversation with you on those scrolling DMs that you released?
That wasn't with me.
Okay, because that of my understanding that particular conversation was with you. Who was that message to, if you can reveal that?
I don't think I can.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, but let's make that clear. That was not sent to you.
That was not sent to me. No, that was somebody going like, I've known, you know.
Yeah. Let's flip back to your childhood a little bit, and this is this more personal emotion. When you would get these things, like these type of pictures, these not safe for work pictures, what were you going through afterwards? I mean, is this something that you didn't think was a big deal at the time, and then you became an adult and said, you know, like, holy crap, or was this something that kind of pained you, but you wanted to be in the clique?
It was like a mix of both, because I knew how I felt about it, which was like, I was not interested in shit to the extent that he was sending me.
Mm.
And like, I knew that I was fronting about that. And yeah.
Did you ever tell him to stop at any time? No.
No, I don't think.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right. That's not a criticism. That's just a question. I just want to make that abundantly clear. I've never been put in your position, so I am being critical, and there's also going back to the allegations about clout chasing. You are recorded singing a song. You're going to get a lot of attention. That does seem to be a little bit kind of crass. It certainly doesn't say anything about your guilt or innocence to sing about gaining internet fame or e-fame not too long after this particular incident. Can you give me some context on the song and why you sang that, and through a lot of people on Discord?
That was literally like, I just used to have a piano like right over here, and then I'd just play and sing like funny songs.
Sure. All right.
And I'd very much like poke fun at that sort of stuff, because that was that was the entire reason like those calls were recorded in the first place, you know what I mean? Because like
Gotcha.
it was such a scrutinized thing to do that sort of shit and approach like moving online with that mindset. Like, that's who I was around.
Oh, gotcha.
And like, so that's what I was making.
Well, I play guitar. I know you play what comes to mind, and if you're joking around, you're going to be talking about you know, what's currently going on, and you're being accused of clout chasing, so you added to the song. I think that's a reasonable explanation, but I for optics reasons, I don't think it was very smart. But yeah, I completely get that. I'm trying to, you know, this is the point where, you know, you forget you want to say something. I think your answers have been adequate, and this does look pretty damning. What do you want to happen to Pyrocynical?
I don't necessarily know what I want to happen to Pyro, besides him losing like trust in that aspect, and like having people in his circle be more like scrutinizing that sort of stuff. Because
does he have people that are underage in his circle now that he may be talking to that you fear about?
I have no idea, honestly, because like I literally I completely cut myself off from that whole community.
What was the impetus to cutting yourself off, and when did that happen?
Huh?
What was the impetus for cutting yourself off? When did you say? Was it 2018, 2019? When did you stop hanging out with that whole crew, and why?
I really went offline on like 2019 New Year's, because like I'd had a lot of stress and just like clinical depression. Like, I'm grieving over family losses at that time.
Sorry to hear that.
Like, yeah, it's just around the anniversary of that happening. Like, I attempted and got sent to inpatient therapy for it. Got like I tried like going back to like being online, and it stressed me out like crazy amount. So I acted really like brash with it and lashed out at my friends. And that kind of led to me being like pushed out of my main circles.
Gotcha.
And
I know how
yeah,
these things
and
work. If you
then
don't hang around, it's almost like you're not participating, and if you're not participating, you don't belong. I understand how that works.
yeah,
Um, I guess you don't have to answer this, but I do. I feel like I have to answer this. You did you when you said you got therapy? Were you sent to somewhere? Were you because I'm going to reveal something to you right now, maybe to make you more comfortable. When I was 10 years old, and I'll be relieving to my fans, I was actually locked up for threatening suicide. And actually, I was 10 years old, so I was doing it as a joke. I thought it was funny. My parents and the psychiatrist didn't think it was very funny, and boy, did I learn a hard lesson. Were you put in a place like that?
yeah, I was sent to it was just kids piece. I don't know if that's over divulging information.
Was it all right? Was it all right? You don't have to go into the.
It's just-
Did I imagine you got therapy there? Did this particular incident come up in your therapy? That's just a yes or no question.
No. 'Cause
Did
I've
you
always,
blame
like,
the fact? I know how lonely those places can be and how spooky they are, and I know the people that work there are sometimes really fucked up. All right, I know that more than you think I do. Did you blame Pyro for your being in that place at some level, either maybe conscious level, maybe even after the fact, after it was over?
No, because I had like I think that was just like one of the many things that like added up onto it, you know? It
Sure.
definitely wasn't like it wasn't a main cause. I like if I'm completely honest, like I I'm I haven't been like completely like I don't know how to explain it, but I took the weight of this like over the span of years, like slowly processing what happened more than I was just like in like it never just set on like super intensely like that. And
Okay.
because of that,
So you didn't do this out of anger.
yeah.
You're saying there was no. I mean, there obviously has to be some sort of resentment. I would that would be understandable.
Yeah.
But you didn't. This wasn't a spur of the moment. This is something that built over time.
Yeah, and it was something that like I said, I didn't really think to do it. Like I didn't straight up just one day go like I am going to do this. It was like me talking to like a victim that I know had it worse, and like they can't prove shit.
Sure.
So like
It's hard to.
I have yeah, and I have the platform and like the proof. So I just like that was what pushed me to do it, and then I posted it without like I posted it without checking and shit because I said or because I was just like I was having a kind of having an episode on that morning and like just I don't
Do you regret? Do you
wasn't
regret it
on-
now?
I don't regret it because I've gotten messages like from people going through like similar stuff saying that like it helped them like know that like it like it's a doable thing to come out about stuff like this and like like that's what I care about in this more than anything. Like I've moved on from that friend group. I've moved on from like I or at least as of posting, I moved on from that friend group. I moved on from like I don't know, wanting clout in like these kinds of communities and like climbing a social ladder
Sure.
or anything. Like I literally all I do
Do you resent the whole
for-
YouTube game? And do you resent it? And this was just your way to burn the whole thing down? YouTube thing is pretty ugly. It's about as ugly as it gets.
Yeah.
Because you do realize if, I'm going to stand by what I saw. And I saw your learner's permit. And that's an older document. It's a very difficult thing to fake. And no matter what, I'm going to say you were 15 in February of 2017. This is, and this is the type of thing, like, it doesn't really matter how you feel. So I'm not asking you in something to judge your feel. This probably is a death knell to his career. Have you thought about that? Or you don't care, in which you have every right not to care.
Yeah, I'm like, if so, like, I feel bad for, like, I don't know. I feel bad that he won't be sure, like, he won't have the same, like, level of comfort in like a capitalistic sort of way. Like, having less money sucks, and like taking that away from somebody is kind of, I don't know, it's a heavy thing to do.
Okay, let me ask you the kind of reverse question. If he survives it and goes on and becomes more successful, are you okay with that as well? Or do you have a different feeling about that?
I think if that happens, then I don't know. I feel like he would
You didn't think of that, did you?
I have, and it's like, I don't know, it's like the bad timeline.
That's so you don't want him. You want there to be some punishment. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I want it to be like,
because if he's talking to my kid that way, I want some kind of punishment too. So I'm not,
like,
I'm a father. I have two kids.
Yeah, like it's crazy thinking about like the fact that two people came out about this. You know what I mean?
Who is the second person besides you? I'm not familiar with that.
That's the here. Wait,
if you could send that to me.
Fine. Yeah. It was I think you went through it. It was the video of the person scrolling through Skype messages, and then also the person on TikTok.
Oh, and yeah, but I mean, the person. Here's the problem with stuff like that.
Yeah, the person on TikTok.
The person on TikTok sounds like a threat. I have no idea they are. I have no way to verify it. You're the active. You're the active person. You're the one standing up to the scrutiny. Yeah. I give you credit for standing up to my scrutiny. So, as far as it, so there has been some person that has also exchanged like fetish type pictures with him. That has made it public. If there hasn't made it public, they haven't made it public. I don't want to know who they are. But if they have made it public, I'd like to see the tweet.
I need to find that then.
Because I saw somebody sticking up for you, saying like everybody knew, but I have no way to verify this. Because I know how YouTube works and how the social aspect works. You have guys like you that just know everybody, but you don't necessarily produce content in that well. Now you're a musician, of course you produce content, but not necessarily in the commentary community realm.
Yeah, like my content's like super separate from like being able to like be lifted up in YouTube communities. You know what I mean?
Sure, I understand. But I'm just trying to get I'm just trying to sort of give the audience an idea. Like there's folks like you that are friends, and they're involved in events, and sometimes people meet up and play video games together or what have you, and you know a lot of people. Yeah. That you're not a rando is what I'm saying. You're in this clique. Yeah. But if this other person comes up and that's number two, as far as they have something that scrolls, that's a lot more damning. And again, I've seen your learner's permit.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure you pulled it up. It was the Skype.
Well, the one thing I pulled up is somebody claimed that you sent them that kind of stuff when you were 18, and they were 16.
That wasn't when I was 18, though. That was them, saying I was 18 at the time. That was a person from...
Which they were 16 and you were 18 in 2018. That's, I'm trying to think. 2007 doesn't make any sense. You'd be 17 tops. Actually, I kind of like to... I actually kind of like to pull that, if you don't mind. So if you can... Yeah, if you could answer that or explain that better, because I did use that in the I did use that
totally
in the thing. So give me just a second, if you don't mind. And I think we're just about done, by the way. I think you've been through enough. Let me see here.
That's
Those are my DMs and stuff like that, because I have been working on it with a few folks. This person, Sam, that stuck up for you at Cope.
Yeah.
Okay, we have that. And was Sam the person that lied to you about being 14 so many years ago? No, different Sam. All right, just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Let me find the sucker. Okay, I found it. Reddit moments, but I'm going to put this. Yeah. I'm going to put this on screen right here. A screenshot of Ivory Rasmus sending me a fat furry fetish when I was actually 16, and at the time he was claiming to be 18. Of course, this is 12/23/2007. That would make you 16 years old, only a few months away from 17. So, what's the deal with this?
That is shit I sent. And
You did send that to him?
I don't know. I honestly have no recollection of it. And I don't even specifically know who Reddit Moments is.
So you're saying you have no idea who this person is? Let's see how new their account is. April 2017. Their account. So you're not saying you know who they are. Okay. And this looks very similar. This looks very similar.
I probably know.
Yeah. You're not saying you don't know them, but off the top of your head. Let's be clear.
Yeah, off the top of my head.
So is he mistaken?
But I know that,
was he mistaken? Or are you telling people you're 18 back in 2017?
Yeah, he was. Oh, I was not saying I was 18. I've never lied about my age never lied about my age because that's a death sentence to do with my music. You know what I mean?
No, I wouldn't know what you meant. I don't know how that would affect you musically.
I don't know how to explain.
Okay.
I wouldn't put my I wouldn't put stuff affiliated with what I have is my lifelong career goal to be I wouldn't jeopardize that to lie about my age. You know?
I guess. I mean, it's your word. I still don't see it, but I don't know how relevant it is to Pyrocynical the situation, in fairness.
And also, I'm just saying, with that whole thing of can I just talk about the tweet where you said
yeah, want to go back to the other one? Sure.
The one about me saying I didn't almost get arrested.
Yeah, we could go back to that one. But I don't know how relevant it is since I've seen your learner's permit. But go ahead.
That's true.
But it is kind of weird. It is. I have to be honest with you. It is kind of weird that people would think that you would almost get arrested at that age. It's 2 years age. It's junior freshman.
Yeah. That's that was a whole thing of well, I mean, it was just literally Alex posted a Twitter video towards my ex or my partner at the time.
Okay.
And because he found out that they lied about their age, I didn't know.
Sure.
And he found out about that and posted a video on Twitter about it, saying you almost made Ivory oh god, I shouldn't be imitating his voice. Yeah. You almost made Ivory Rasmus a pedophile. And he could have gotten arrested.
Was that a joke? You just imitated Pyro. Was that a joke that Pyrocynical said?
No, that was something that Alex said.
Oh. Are you friends with Alex or at any time?
I was in contact with him. Our relationship was really dodgy, though.
Join the club.
Yeah.
I met him in London.
So,
yeah. All right, this isn't about Alex. As much as I'd love to pick your brain about that, that's not appropriate now. All right, so you're saying you're not sure who this person is. You're not saying you don't know him. You do, but you've never said that. I have seen your thing. And you have this person, Sam. Niall said similar for NSWB. I was 18 at the time. There's no issue. Probably in early 2017. Me, Ivory, and Nell, all in the same friend group. And it does not shock me. The same content was sent to others. So far, you're the only other that I'm aware of, unless there's somebody else. It is known to all of us at Ivory, and I think that lines up. It's awful difficult to believe that he didn't know when his girlfriend seemed to know. Just to state that. Look, I think you've been more than forthcoming. Okay, and I'm gonna let you go. I think you've been more. I don't think there's anything else to talk about. If I have to admit, if this is some kind of ruse, this is, hats off. This is an incredible ruse, but it's very difficult to believe. I don't know how relevant your motivations are. If you just snowed me and you had no problem doing what you're doing, it really doesn't matter because you're 18. You weren't able to consent to that stuff. Not emotionally, probably not legally. It's no good. It's not a thing. I would be furious if I was your father. And that's kind of the way I look at this situation a lot. So I think we're going to end the call right here, so you know that there's no BS. Nobody's pulling any tricks. I think you're very forthcoming. I will warn you that no matter what happens, you will take criticism probably for as long as this runs, maybe years from now. I still hear criticism for things I did, 4 and 5 years ago. It's a part of the gig. The only difference is you're not trying to be a public figure outside of your music. I wish you the best with that.
Same to you.
Thank you for your time. And so go ahead. If you want to finish off with something, go right ahead.
I was gonna say, thank you for, trying to be as impartial as possible until proof comes out, because
sure.
It means a lot to see people making sure that both sides can be satisfied when coverage of this stuff is happening.
Well, I mean, it goes back to what you said about grooming, man. I don't know Pyro. I've never talked to him in anything other than DM. I don't like seeing somebody that influential taken down, and I'll be perfectly honest. I've gone both ways in this. I've gone, Pyro's in some trouble, and I'm looking at tweets, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, guy, how are you telling people you are? I can't say 100%, but what I can get out of this, I'm not casting guilt on him and innocence on you, but what I will say, and this is how I'm going to end it, Pyro needs to come out and answer these allegations and clear anything up. It might be a huge load off his back, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know how survivable from an optics point of view a dirty conversation with a 15-year-old boy is. I'm not sure, but I don't know how much that matters. The truth matters, and getting it out of the way. I mean, honestly, can you forgive Pyro? If he talked to you, if you guys talk this out, if I could arrange that? No.
I'm not sure. Okay. I could let him live. You know what I mean? Okay. But I'm personally,
that sounds like a no. But I will tell you this down the road. You got a lot of anger, all right, and I get that. I've had rotten stuff done to me too. All I'm going to tell you, you got to let it go one day. Maybe now's not the time. Maybe 10 years from now is not the time. But just for your own health, holding on to grudges, it's a way to see an early grave, and that's just my concern for you as an adult, and as the fact that you're a young man. You could be old enough to be my son. So. And I think we'll end the call there. And thanks for being forthcoming, and all the best to you, sir.
Yes.
Bye.
Yeah, same to you. Bye-bye. Thank you.